Hey, this is Captain Paul Brawley with Fish Finder Guide Service. We are going to start out today in the upper Laguna Madre and we're going to work our way south towards Baffin. So, right here is Bird Island Basin. Actually, it's here, but the structure and everything you see is further south. So, you're going to come out of this channel and we're going to come out and we're going to concentrate around this big island right here on depending on your wind direction. It's hard for me to tell which day you're going to fish as compared to what day I'm fishing. So we get a couple of days of north, a couple of days of south, a couple of days of north. So if you're getting the southeast winds, you're going to start on the windward side of this island off of the intercoastal, and you're going to be fishing up towards the island using popping corks and shrimp. There's a nice trough that runs all the way up to that island on this side. And what you're going to be doing is looking for redfish tighter to the edge, and you're looking for trout out in the middle of it. I'm still doing the 15, 16-inch drop underneath 4 horseman corks. I am using a 1/16 ounce or a 1/32 ounce, if you can find them, lead head. I'm not using the Kell hook because this will keep your shrimp down a little better, and it's the water temperature's cooler, so we're kind of trying to keep it closer to the bottom, looking for those reds and those bigger trout all through there. Next, you can I'm sorry, if you're on a big north wind, you're going to start over here and you're going to fish the opposite direction, northwest, or depending on how your wind is. You always want to set up with the wind to your back and throw back towards these spoils. This side doesn't have as much of a trough as it has kind of a flat going up to the land. So really your most productive side is going to be on a northeast or a southeast fishing from this backside. Not to say you can't catch them on that backside, but that trough seems to be where they're hanging, and it holds a little bit of a current if the tide's moving there in the intercoastal. All right, we're going to move a little bit south of there. We're going to talk to our wade fishermen for a minute. All around this bar right here you see, there is some pretty good red fishing right now. I would just be mainly throwing anything with the paddle tail, your Berkeley power baits, your down south lures, even the old school H&H Cocoa minnows. Any of that stuff through there will work real well. I'm liking the chartreuse type colors, your lime colors, pinks, whites with red tails. Any of those type colors through this area. I would just get the wind to my back, depending on if it's a south or a north or whatever. Get the wind to your back and kind of walk around through there. It's anywhere from knee deep to waist deep. There's a lot of sand troughs, cuts. There's a lot of structures, some old wooden pilings, all types of stuff there. There's some rocks right out in this area here. There's a little bit of rocks. Just kind of go through that area methodically, throwing your lures and looking for redfish. Later in the day, you can come over here and kind of get off of this flat a little bit. It's a lot of sand holes and everything out here. You may do little drifts up to where it's shallow. See if you're finding any hot spots where you can find trout. I would mainly be using Bass Assassins with the dart tails, some of the DOA type dart tail lures. All of those different types of lures will work real well for trout. I like a darker color for trout, like a purple with a green tail. Sometimes you want to use something like a electric chicken that has a little pink and chartreuse in it. Stuff like that will all work. Motor oil, pumpkin seed, any of those type of lures will work real well for trout off of those troughs right there. Anyway, we'll head a little further south after this. All right, from here we're going to go quite a bit south. I'm not going to really talk about compuertas and the meadows. I think we've talked about that a couple of times. How about you can catch in the drums in the compuertas area here, or you're catching the the reds and stuff in the meadows area. Anyway, we're going to kind of run a little bit more south, and where we're going to be looking is at all of these spoils that separate Yarborough from the intercoastal. All of those spoils there What I like to do is, and just to be safe, there's many cuts through those rocks. I still suggest putting through them just to be safe. There's several gaps in all those rock islands that you can get through. It's just a bunch of broken spoils there. And so what I've been doing is I will get mainly on a northeast day, and I am working from the north to the south down these spoils with my trolling motor, and I'm throwing popping corks and shrimp right up to those rock spoils. You'll be able to tell where the rocks kind of come out of the water, where it's very dark around them. It even has some grass kind of growing around those little spoil islands. I'm throwing right up to where the sand meets the dark, like the grass or the rocks that are there, and we're throwing shrimp and corks, live shrimp for sure. 4 horseman corks, maybe a 15-inch drop through here. I'm still using the 1/16 or 1/32 ounce lead head. I love the Pro Elites if you can find those. I also like the Norton ones. They work real well. Any of those jig heads. You could also, if you can get them, they're very hard to come by. There's some lighter knotty hookers that have a very thick hook, very, very, very good hook, if you can find them. But really, the concentrating on a lighter jig head, like a 1/16 or 1/32, 15-inch drop under a 4 horseman cork. Anyway, you're going to be going down these spoils. You're going to be throwing right up to the edge where the rocks meet the deeper water, and you're looking for sheephead, black drum, redfish, and even some flounder all through there, all the way down these spoils. The further you get away from this particular area right here that has the cabins, the further you get away, really about past this point, the less reds you're going to catch. The reds seem like they're more concentrated from here back off of those spoils. The further this way you go south, you're going to start running into more trout and more sheephead and more drum. A lot of drums back here too, but you're going to get into those three in particular species. Every now and then you'll still catch a red tighter to these spoils, but you're really going to be finding lots of quality trout, especially when you start getting a little further where the around the even line of where Yarborough really opens up back towards these spoils. Where this compresses here like this, it makes almost a funnel for these redfish right in here. So that area right there, it will be very good fishing for you, using popping corks and shrimp, fishing those spoils, just using your trolling motor, working down them nice and easy. If you find a spot that's got a few fish, power pole down and try it for a little bit. Don't be surprised if your power poles scrape rocks down there. They're pretty deep. They're very scattered. Most of that area is relatively safe. I do not charge in anywhere there. I kind of putt in, putt out. That's kind of my rule. Anyway, you guys have a great week. Be courteous to each other. Until next time.